So the years that you haven't been back to the tour, is it because of the doping problems? Were you just
I had my own
away?
health problems. I had 3 operations. I had some personal problems that I had to deal with, but it was part of it. I had a painful finish in my career. I tried everything I could to race better, but I couldn't keep up. I mean, you couldn't keep up. We were doing 45 kilometers an hour up some climbs, 40 k's an hour climbs, which I never saw in my life. I mean, you race for 10 years pro, and in 91 we had to do a stage at 50 kilometers an hour with 3 stops with the train. I'd never seen anything like that. And things don't change in 1 year. It doesn't happen. There are no miracles in cycling, in sports. You know, you're good at 15, 16, 17, 20, 25. I mean, it's the way it is. It's. I don't care who you talk to. There's a learning curve, but I came here at 18. Probably my first real stage race. It was open with the 3rd place Tour de France winner, East Germans, the Polish teams, and at 18 I won the race, 5 days. As 19, I was 3rd behind Hinault in the Dauphiné Libéré. I mean, I didn't change. I mean, with 4 or 5 years of experience in racing, what you're learning to do is try to how do you get more specific, and how do you peak and fine-tune your season. That's what really happens. But I'm certain if I had a watt measuring device at 18, I would have produced the same as I did at 25. So,
what's going on with your bike company these days?
I'm in a lawsuit with Trek.
Yeah. And but are you looking to sponsor another team or keep the company going?
Well, I'm looking to taking Trek on in a nice litigation. That's about all I can say, but it's not going to be a pretty one.
Can you talk a little bit about the reception you've had from the ASO, from the fans, from the other riders here at the tour?
I mean, I was 12 years on a French team, so I got a lot of good friends. But for an American, I don't believe the French have any anti-Americanism in the sport. When you see the people in the country, you could have some guy in New York, Paris. It's like some guy in New York saying, he could be a jerk. But I spent 12 years on a French team, and this whole anti-Americanism is a cooked-up fabrication of imagination from certain people. I've only experienced people who love the sport, and I've never had. I raced against Hinault, who was like Muhammad Ali in France, and he was going for 6. And if I was racing in probably Italy, Spain, I don't know. I'm just saying that I could have been taken down, but I never had ever a bad interaction with any spectator in France. So, the average French person you meet them, they're incredibly nice, and that's how I know the French. I know the riders, from 12 years of racing. So, I don't know. I mean, I was surprised. I just, it was kind of, I was in Ireland doing a charity event, but I'd been talking with ASO to come to the tour, and then my phone got lost, and I was so busy, so I decided I'd just call when I got to Ireland, and couldn't get through to anybody, and I finally got a hold of Eric, and so I had to get home. I'd like to have stayed, but I had committed to a charity event in Limerick, and it was a good trip, though.
How about the reception from the riders? I mean, you're speaking out against doping, and there's always anybody that's done that has always gotten a mixed reaction from the peloton. Have you had interaction with the riders at this race?
Not on Cofidis, and I don't care if there's a negative feeling from somebody else. It's their problem. It's their own issues. I mean, I'm not pinpoint. There was something in L'Equipe I was not happy with about Valverde, because it was totally taken out of context that he shouldn't be here. A journalist said, well, Valverde was involved in Operation Puerto, and I said, well, I heard he was, yeah, but I don't know the real details of Valverde. I said, if it's the same evidence that was on Tyler Hamilton or Ulrich, well, maybe